Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. So, I actually had a topic in mind for today, but I'm changing it last minute. I'm just gonna have to put it off till next time. But the reason I've changed it is because my day today has kind of made me think about something, and I wanted to share it with you. Today's been a reasonably decent day. Nothing bad to start it off. Everything went well this morning. And then I just had a kind of a situation that happened while I was in the office, and I made a big mess, a literal mess. And if you want to hear about that, you're actually going to have to find me on social media so you can watch the little video I posted about that. Just a couple of minutes long, but I posted it yesterday, Thursday. But I that it wasn't something that should have ruined my day, and it hasn't ruined my day, but it's something that changed my mood in my day. And, I bounced back from it. It's fine, but it just exhausted me. And I realized that was kind of a build-up, like what happened today. So my today when I'm recording it, your yesterday when you're listening to it, because I'm recording this on a Thursday and you're listening to this, or you're receiving it on a Friday. But what happened today was kind of it was a situation on top of other situations that had happened this week, completely unrelated, but I'd had these little things, or some little, some not so little, but these like issues I had to deal with in my home with my dog who was sick and caused a whole lot of problems there, with just, schedules not going according to plan and having to really kind of change direction and just go with the flow, and things that to me cause me stress and discomfort because I am a planner. I am someone who works really, really well off of a schedule. And when things don't go the way I want them to, that's difficult for me. I roll with it, but it does come with an emotional cost because I have to mentally change directions, and that takes me, sometimes I can do it really easily, other times it's not so easy. I'll do it, but then I feel the heaviness of it for a while. And so I rolled through all those things this week pretty well. There were lots of situations where, after I finished dealing with it, I was like, wow, kind of awesome. I got through that. I was able to manage it. It didn't make me cry. Like, it's great. And so just moments of pride in myself for handling difficult situations. But then the thing that happened today, just again, not crazy. Like, it was just an unfortunate thing that I had to deal with. But it was like, I don't know. I think my brain just was done. I was done dealing with things that I wasn't expecting to deal with. And I was just frustrated that there's another thing that I don't have time to deal with, but I have no choice. I physically cannot move on with my day until I handle this situation. And I don't know, it wore me out on a very weird emotional level. I feel drained. And it's weird because I've been through worse. I've had worse situations come up, more upsetting or serious in nature, whereas things I've dealt with this week weren't serious. They were just really inconvenient, and there were several of them, and that's it. I guess this is just a week where my brain has a lower capacity for, tolerating difficulty. And I'm still here. I'm still recording this episode, even though, I'm sure if I didn't have to, I probably would have given myself a pass, but it had to be done. And I'm still seeing clients. I'm still doing what I need to do. But emotionally, internally, I feel really, really tired. It's like it just wore me out. And so I wanted to talk to you about this because this is not an unusual thing. What I'm experiencing is nothing special. It's nothing unique. Everyone goes through versions of this throughout whether it's their day, their week, their life. Some people experience it more often than not. than others. And some people really rarely go through these kinds of things. It really just depends on the kind of things that you deal with in your life. And it also depends on your personality, your resilience, your capacity for dealing with stress, your mental health, all of that. It all plays into ultimately how you manage difficulty. And it happens very, very commonly. And there are a lot of times when I meet with people or just talk to friends where we just need to complain and we need to vent and we need to let it out. And yes, some of the times that we vent about things, they're serious. But other times they're just like my week, where it's lots of little things that added up to a difficult week. And that's where I was today. I mean, I even was talking to my friend Stacy, who's in the office with me, and I was just like, can I just complain for a minute? And it was, as I was complaining, I was like, this is so not a big deal. Like, none of these things are earth shattering. They're really not problems that should derail me. But then after I talked to her and just, blech, word vomit, said it all, it felt better. But I'm still really, really tired, and it still affected me, and I still feel that heaviness in my chest, heart, stomach, whatever you want to call it. And it's, there are other things going on that I haven't been able to resolve yet in addition to that. But as far as the little annoying things, like, I just need to shake it off, and I'm having a hard time shaking it off. So I want you to think about your ability to shake things off. Are you someone that holds on to difficulty and really lets it get deep in there and lets it ruin your day? Or are you able to shake things off more easily? Are you able to just kind of deal with it and move on? And most likely you're going to be somewhere in the middle. Some of you may be great at shaking things off. Some of you may be real grudge holders for the universe and the things it throws at you. But I think most people hover somewhere in the middle, where you have your good days, you have your bad days. I like to think I'm somewhere in the middle. I have my good days, I have my bad days. Most days I'm able to handle things fairly well. Again, I think that's in large part to the fact that I structure myself as much as possible. I try to have a routine and plan around things that might go wrong, but that's not always possible. What gets me through my morning without being stressed is planning as much as I can the night before, making lunches, getting things ready for clothing and my son's schedule and all of that. Everything is ready to go. Like, my dog food is ready the night before, so in the morning I just put it down. I plan as much as I can so that I don't have a lot of extra things. But sometimes you can plan it all perfectly and still just wake up in a grumpy mood or extra tired because you didn't sleep well, or something does come up that's extra, like your dog throwing up everywhere, whatever, or your kid's sick. So things happen, but how do you manage those things? And I'm asking you this because I want you to be self-aware. I want you to think about if you are the kind of person that could improve, or if you really are doing great. Most of the time, I'm hoping you're going to say you can improve, because everyone can improve. And I bet if I asked your significant other or your child, hey, how does this person handle stress, their answer might be different than yours. You might think you're really good at it, and your family members might think you're actually pretty grumpy when you get, sidetracked or upset by something, or you hang on to it and you have a hard time letting it go. Or they might think you're really good at it. I don't know. But you probably need to be thinking about it. And I've been, as I sat here preparing to record this episode, and the topic I wanted to discuss, I just wasn't in the mood for it, because I was dealing with what I was feeling. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just talk about that. And so I spent a couple of minutes just thinking through how this is going to go, and realized, like, I need to figure this out. I need to understand why I'm hanging on to this and why I'm feeling heaviness by what happened this week. And really, there's sometimes there's this deeper unresolved issue that, you got to address. And probably there's something I need to deal with this week. I can think of something that maybe I need to sit down and work through. But the rest of it is just day to day, it's just stress. And so I think I just have to accept that I need to make time to deal with the thing that needs to be dealt with. But then I need to just cut myself some slack and understand that it has been a really busy week, with all the extra things that popped up that were unexpected. On top of that, I still had to do all my same responsibilities, my full-time job, my business, my son, my husband, my family, sports, whatever. I still had to do all those things, and I need to cut myself slack in knowing that it's okay that I'm not always handling everything well. You need to do that. You need to cut yourself some slack and realize that if you're having a hard day or you're just feeling burdened by the things going on in your life, well, sometimes it just is. Like, it's just life. It's just the things that you have to deal with. And yeah, you can feel bad about it for a little bit. You can feel sorry for yourself for a little bit, but then you've got to really figure out how to shake it off. You shouldn't go home grumpy or be home with your kids really kind of irritated and very unapproachable. You're going to have to work on that. So I have to, here in a few minutes, I've got a client, 3 back to back. And you know what? I better figure myself out because I need to be available. I need to be able to help this person. And that's something, thankfully, I have mastered over the years. Life's always going on for me, but I've got to put that aside for a little bit and help the people that are coming to me for help. So I will give myself a high five for that because I've worked hard to achieve that. I'm an emotional person that had to learn how to manage helping other people with their stuff when I've got my own stuff going on. And hopefully I've done a good job. Haven't ever had any bad feedback. I work really hard on that, but I also need to work just as hard on that with my family. So when I go home today, I have a child, I have a husband, I have dogs. If you're watching on video, you can see one of them in the background stretching. But I have responsibilities and I have duties and I have a family that I love deeply and want to spend time with them. So I better not take my whatever this feeling is home. I'm probably going to go home. I'm going to tell my husband all about it and then I'll feel better. And then I'm going to hang out with my kid and we're going to play games or we're going to just hang out. And that will help. But I also have to make sure that I walk into the house with a good perspective of my day, that I'm grateful to be home, I'm grateful to have this family or whatever. And I need to shake it off. So I like to complain. I like to vent. It's fun. It feels good. But I also know that I can't live in that space. I can't let those negative feelings of yuckiness and heaviness lead my day. I can't let myself stay in it. So it's a decision. I mean, it's not an easy decision sometimes, but it is a decision. I can choose to stay grumpy and upset, or I can choose to distract myself, get busy doing something else, and call myself out and be like, okay, get over it. It's really not a big deal. People have much worse problems today than I do. So suck it up, And I believe in sucking it up, and there's a time to be emotional and express that. And then there's a time to just toughen up. And I think a lot of the time nowadays, we don't teach people to toughen up as much as we used to, and there's a balance. You have to be able to be in your emotions, and that's okay, but you also have to toughen up. And I want you to think about if there's room for growth there. Do you need to toughen up? Do you need to teach your children to toughen up? Do you need to teach yourself to toughen up? Life is difficult sometimes. Life is going to throw big, awful things at you, and it's going to throw little things at you and everywhere in between. And you have to be able to roll with it when it comes. And sometimes it stops you and you have to stop everything you're doing to deal with it. Sometimes you just don't have that luxury and you're going to have to suck it up and you're going to have to push through and you're going to have to get to a point where you continue on with your day and then find time later to take care of that. And, self-care is important. Deal with your stuff. But if you don't stop and you don't deal with it and you continue letting it build and build and build, then you will get burned out of whatever it is you're doing, whether it's your job, home life, your mental health, whatever it is, you will suffer. So you have to have that self-awareness to know that if you have a feeling that's not good and that something's wrong, figure out what it is. If today I feel off, Well, I can tell you exactly why, but there are a lot of people that don't know. I have a lot of people that come to counseling with that feeling, whether it's short term or something that's been going on for a long time, and they don't have that self-awareness yet about where it's coming from, what's causing it. So part of what I get to help with is, let's look at it. Let's take a step back. Let's try to explore all the different categories. And a lot of the times it ends up being something so out of that person's immediate thinking. It's something that maybe happened a while back or in the background, but it ends up having such a huge impact. But they don't stop or know to stop to deal with it. They just keep dealing with whatever else is in their day or in their life. But it's this underlying, like, illness, almost like a bacteria infection of some kind, that is just making you feel bad without understanding why you feel bad. And so typically when we get to walk through that process, that the result is self-awareness, which immediately brings some relief, but then navigating what to do next. Okay, now that I know this is the thing, what do I do about it? How do I handle it? Do I need to talk to someone about it? Do I need to change my perspective? Whatever. And then we figure that out. And I'm having to do that for myself today. It's not always easy, but I'm responsible for myself, so I better work on it. You're responsible for yourself. You have to work on it. Don't let your grumpiness or your upset feeling dictate how you act. Let it dictate how you deal with your day. Don't let it dictate how you interact with your family or your friends. There's a reason behind why you feel the way you feel, but that can very quickly turn into an excuse that you choose to hang on to. You feel it for a little bit, and then you got to let it go. So after I'm done with this, I'm going to go take my dog for a walk. I'm going to shake it off. That's going to be something I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to get outside. I'm going to get some sun, even if it's for 2-3 minutes, to go to our little spot where he goes potty. That's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to shake it off. And then I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do my work, and I'm going to get in a session with a client. And that's it. I'm done. It's over. I need to let it go. There's nothing else I can do about it. It's nothing that needs to be resolved. It's over. The other thing that I have that I need to work through, I'm going to go ahead and deal with that later. I've already talked to my friend Stacy about it a little bit. It's just some things I need to, stuff with work that just needs to get done, that requires phone calls I don't want to make, things like that. Till it's done, I'm not going to feel great about it. But I'll get to that. But my own personal stuff, I've just got to shake it off now. There's nothing else I can do about it. So I hope that this gives you some perspective on yourself. Think about what you are hanging on to. Think about the things that you're having a hard time shaking off. If it's something that you need to address, if it's an issue with another person or an unfinished task or something you're avoiding, knock it out. Get it done. Stop putting it off. Do your best to resolve it, because otherwise you're carrying this burden, or maybe multiple burdens, with you, and you are going to continue to weigh yourself down with it, and you're going to affect and impact the people that you interact with in your life. It will absolutely cause a problem. So if it's a mindset, then work through it and choose to work on modifying that mindset. Get help if you need it, a person to talk to, a therapist, friend, whatever. So if it's a mindset, you have control over that. If it's a behavior or a task, you need to go do that. And if it's, really most things are going to fall under that. And then there's some stuff that's just hardship in life, a loss, a death, or whatever. You're just going to have to busy yourself. You're going to have to find something to do to distract yourself, and then it'll come and go, and you'll feel good and you'll feel bad, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you just have to choose not to sit in it, and you have to try to move forward with your day. Go do something else. Try to change the way that you think and the way that you feel in the moment. So I'm going to go continue shaking this off. I hope this helped you. I hope it gave you something to think about, and I will see you guys next time. All right, have a good day. Bye.